myself
No, but
because I'm
then
in a
we know
car
who
with
you
people.
are. Okay, great.
Sorry.
I think let's not punish the punctual. Great to see all of these faces. Looking forward to traveling with you. I'm going to just turn it over to Abby quickly, and then we're going to jump into our agenda for today. But thank you for being so competent.
Hi, everybody. I'm Abby Halpern. I just want to thank you all for saying yes. This is a very special group, and I'm happy to tell you that we are at capacity, which means a lot. And I think that we're all going on a very special journey to show support and love to our Israeli brothers and sisters, and to learn as much as we possibly can about what's happening in Israel so that we can come back as a group and share everything that we've learned and experienced with everybody here in Metro West. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Abby. So today, just to kind of like set the tone and agenda, today we're just going to go over some roles and responsibilities. You'll notice that Dov Ben Shimon, our CEO, has also joined us. Thank you, Dov. Dov's going to give us a quick overview as he's traveled to Israel twice since October 7th, twice. Okay. So, and kind of just to give us a sense of what we're headed into. He'll join us for a little while. But before we just get started, I just would love to go around the Zoom room quickly, mindful of everyone's time, just and introduce by name and kind of maybe where you live, and like if you want to share what compelled you to say yes to this. I'm happy to start, and then we could just bop around. I'm Liz Robinson. I'm the lead staff together with Mandy Perlmutter. I'm the Next Gen director here at Federation. I am super looking forward to and a bit nervous, to go to Israel during this time, having been there before many, many, many times. I am looking forward to experiencing this, which will be very different from other times. So I'm just looking at Mindy, so I'll call on you, and then you can just call on someone.
Hi, I'm Mindy Shaw. I live in Livingston. I, like Liz, am excited, but also nervous. But I think the reason I said yes was because, like most of us, I spend most of the day on my phone scrolling through social media, and it's horrific, it's scary, and I think I just want to be there and be able to see for myself and hopefully help, and I don't know, hopefully just get to see how everyone's coming together during this horrific time, and just to be a part of it. I'm excited.
Do you want to just call on somebody, or we can just I'll call Marjorie? Do you want to go next?
Along with Mindy's sentiments, I'm thrilled to be with my daughter-in-law on this trip. I'm there because I want to show up. And that's really it.
Thanks. I see John's next.
Oh, me? Okay. This is going to be a difficult trip for all of us. It's not like going to Israel the way we have in the past, and we get to see all the cool and fun things to do and see our friends. This is going to be different. I think, to me, going back in 2009, I went on a similar solidarity mission when that war was broke out, and I was in the home of a family whose house had been hit by a Qassam, and I was with someone from the Jewish agency, and at the time they were giving out $1,000 check to each family that got hit so they could at least fix up their house or something before the government came in and kicked in. And when I left, the young girl, the daughter, who is Corey's age, because she's my daughter's age, came out to me. She didn't speak any English. I don't speak any Hebrew, but she said through my friend, she couldn't believe that someone from the United States was in her home during that time. And I think it's, to me, that's what's important, that they're seeing us and they're not going to feel so alone. But the second part of the reason I want to be there is so I can come back with a little more knowledge and start talking to my friends about the situation over there, the mood of the country, and I mean, we all see on TV what's going on with the hostages or what's going on with, the attack itself and the aftermath. But I think being able to relay to people what the mood of the country is, what the mood of the people is, and what it means for them to have us as their friends, and they're not so isolated. I think that's the message I want to get across, or want to
Thanks,
see.
John. Mandy, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I'm Mandy Prometer. I am the manager of leadership planning and placement, and I really am so grateful to be staffing this mission with Liz. This is my second time staffing a mission, and it is, I think, really just the need to feel my feet on the ground in Israel, just after being so focused and immersed. It just feels like something I wouldn't want to miss out on the opportunity. I feel really grateful. So thank you. And I will go to Susie.
Hi, my name is Susie Gohar from Livingston. So when Abby asked me if I wanted to join, my first reaction was like, of course. And then, you kind of have like those mixed emotions, nervous, yet excited, but I'm definitely looking forward. It's going to be a challenging, but definitely a meaningful journey. And looking forward to helping out as much as we can and coming back and, letting people know what's going on in Israel for people who are not educated, of course. And thank you. I can't see who else is on the.
Corey, I'm seeing
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Did you say Corey?
Yeah, Corey.
I am anxious and excited to go on the mission. I feel like when this happened, you immediately gravitated toward all of the Jewish friends at home. And there was like an obligation to educate all of our non-Jewish friends. And I was very eager to go and have an immersive education experience to people in Israel so we could continue the education of people at home, both Jewish and non-Jewish.
Thanks. I guess I'm seeing Susan next. Hammer. Do you mind?
I think I'm going because I have some family members that are not as supportive as I would like them to be. And I want to come back and be able to share my experience with them and possibly persuade them that they need to be better educated about what I've learned.
Awesome. Thank you. Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric Harvett. I live in Warren. I'm going, I obviously just like a lot of other people to see and communicate with the Israelis there, get to see some cousins I haven't seen in a while also while I'm there. But I also feel it's important, economically to go so that there's some people in Israel spending a few bucks. And also as the child of Holocaust survivors, I just find it like an important time to go and support Israel.
Thanks. Toby.
Hi, I'm Toby. I am in Springfield, New Jersey. I am going to bear witness and make sure that the world doesn't forget. Again, like the person before me, Eric, I am a grandchild of survivors, and my dad was born in Germany in a DP camp, so I feel very connected. I want the Israelis to know that the world has not turned their back on them, because I think in media, that's what they're seeing. So,
Lindsay, I'm seeing you next.
Hi guys, I'm Lindsay Hutter. I'm in Livingston. This is actually my first time in 10 years that I'll be in Israel, so very different experience. Personally for myself, October 7th has like fully pulled me to want to go. I've had this yearning just for even personally, selfishly for myself, for my own Jewish identity. And then for my family on my side, who, like Susie had mentioned, doesn't fully grasp and totally understand what's going on. And I feel this is important for them to see my going. I want to be able to have my feet on the ground. I want to be there. I want to help where I can. And I just think it's going to be exciting, heavy, every emotion. And I'm just excited to go. Less anxious than I thought right now, but I think it's going to be great.
Did I miss Terry? Alex? Sam?
Hi, I'm Terry. Livingston. Sorry, my voice is worse. I want to go because I want to show my support and I love Israel. So that's my main reason. And so my also saying not to be.
Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Feinstein. I'm sure you heard Marjorie, that is my mother-in-law. But this is actually, as some of you know, my second time going since the war had started. I went on the first another solidarity mission at the end of November. And I'm going again, clearly because it made such a massive impact on me the first time that I took the opportunity again. And you all will hopefully feel how I felt. It will be life-changing for everybody. It's not just you, but the people that you meet. It's unbelievable. So I really am. I'm looking forward to see you all have the same feelings that I had when I was there, when I came home, that I was able to share, and I'm looking forward to sharing it all with you.
Awesome, thank you. Stuart, Sam, and Rachel. Get to our agenda.
Should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
My name is from Livingston. I think that when Alex went the first time, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I think when Alex went the first time, I was thinking like she was crazy and then when she got home, I was so eager to like go to lunch with her and catch up with her. And then she sent it to me and I was like, my sister and I were like, no, maybe another time. And then when Corey called me last Tuesday or 2 weeks ago, I was like, no. And then something kind of kept pulling me. I mean, you know, I was like so back and forth over the course of 3 days and something kind of just kept pulling me to go. So like Margie said, just showing up and being there and then coming back and sharing everything.
Awesome. So, all right, Stuart, go ahead.
My name is Stuart Weinberg. I'm from Livingston. I feel that we are all facing an existential threat, not only in Israel, but around the world. I am anxious to show support for everybody in Israel because it's been an unprecedented, horrific situation for them to deal with, and they desperately need our support. I am anxious to become a witness to the history that we've experienced, and most importantly, to come back with ideas of what we could do to help rebuild Israel and rebuild and strengthen the global Jewish community.
Thank you. Rachel, I think you're the last
one. Not least.
Definitely not.
I am Rachel Klein. I am from Springfield. And I really echo what everybody else said. I was born in Israel, so based all my life, my heart has always been in Israel, and now even more so. And I can't really articulate what the pull is for me to be there right now, but it's there, and I have to be there. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you guys all for sharing. I think there's a lot of shared kind of emotions and feelings, and really looking and going together as a group is going to kind of bring that to light so much more. So with that, I want to turn it over to Doug to give us a few words, and then we'll jump into some logistics of the trips, questions that you might have. We'll open up the conversation. So Doug, thank you.
Hi, Liz. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for going. Thank you for showing your love for Israel, your solidarity with our friends and families and partners. It means a lot. Just by being there, I think you're going to make a huge difference. I think I've told several of you, and I know many of you, that there's a point. There's literally a point in a solidarity mission, right as you land, when you think, am I doing the right thing? Am I here going to be a burden on everyone? Is this just a drain on all these Israelis' time? So I wanted to tell you a few things. And first thing I want to tell you is you're wrong. Don't think that way. You need to be there. We need you to be there. And most important, Israel and the Israelis need you there right now. We need you to hug people, to show solidarity, to be present, and to practice active listening and compassion and validation. One of the key areas that I've noticed, going back to Israel several times since October the 7th, is all these parallels, and Eric was talking about, and several of you were talking about it, to the Shoah, to the Holocaust. And generally, as a Jewish communal professional and as a Federation exec, I try to stay away from Holocaust parallels and analogies because they tend to be distracting and somewhat unhelpful. But you've all seen where these parallels lie in terms of what happened that day and the pain and the suffering and the evil that we've all witnessed. But one of the things that I think is really important, and something that we don't always think about, is the long-term mental health burden for the tens of thousands of victims and the hundreds of thousands of evacuees, and what that means. The night screams, the survivor guilt, the sense of disconnect and uprootedness and fear. All of these are real. So in addition, of course, to raising the funds for the therapists and the professionals and the caregivers who can help, there are two things that are really critical right now. And one, of course, as we've said, is to be there, the hug, to support, to show solidarity and love and connection. We've, as a Jewish community of Greater Metro West, as a Jewish Federation, we've built up partnerships over decades of investment and a deep sense of attachment and family. And that means something on both sides. So you being there isn't just a reaffirmation of that support, it's also you building more bricks in that pathway of commitment and this living bridge that we have. But the other critical aspect, it's like Toby and Eric and Stuart and several of you said about bearing witness, sending short videos from the field, writing social media posts, updating your Facebook or your Instagram or your LinkedIn or whatever you have with photos and stories about what you're going to see and whom you are going to meet and what you have learned. I think that one of the key things that has been most impactful since October the 7th is seeing people on the ground reporting back to us here about these things. For those of you who are following on social media, we're seeing this rise of massacre deniers who are like shabby loser descendants of Holocaust deniers. And the way to counter these awful people is to share the truth, it's to tell the stories, it's to bear witness. So that's another reason why I'm really grateful that you'll be on the ground. So with all of that in mind, I have 3 suggestions / recommendations for you for your mission. First, we love hashtags. The way that people can follow the concepts and issues, that way they're going to find your Facebook and Twitter and Instagram posts if you use them much easier and amplify them. And we have several Alex-like social media gurus and experts, so I don't need to spend too much time on this. The main ones we use, and we'll get these to you, and Alex and Liz, and you will know these, you know these. I am GMW, I am Greater Metro West. When you write about anything to connect you to Federation and our community, Mission GMW, so people know how to follow you as the mission from Greater Metro West, and Israel Under Attack, which is the main hashtag that most of us use to talk about what's happened. Don't worry about these now. We'll share these hashtags with you for when you are on the mission on the ground. So first hashtag. Second, how to take photos. I'm assuming you all know how to take photos, but here is what I've learned in the past 3 months on the ground in Israel. We recommend to people don't smile when you take photos in Israel. Look straight at the camera and try to have a composed and thoughtful look. I appreciate this sounds a little weird, but you don't want your photo being misconstrued later as being frivolous or unserious. Smiling in photos right now is something that we don't recommend. In the same way, make sure you think about the audience when you post your photos online. Pictures with 2 or 3 people are more appealing than pictures with 30 people. Candid photos are better than staged photos where everyone's lined up together in huge groups. And third and most important, I can't stress this enough, make notes. Keep a diary, write down quotes and feelings and thoughts. I've been keeping journals and diaries for 30 years now, and I can look back at memories and trips and stuff I've done literally from a different century. And the act of writing it down meant that not only could I come back to it a week later for telling friends and family about what I did, but also that I could come back to it a decade later and it would still be right there and meaningful and relevant again. So I strongly recommend it because we are going to be listening to you. We're going to be watching you. And we're incredibly grateful that you're going. It's really important. So I wish you all Nisiat Tova, safe travels, Batzlacha, lots of success, and B'tei Avan, because, you know, Israeli hotel breakfasts. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
So I think up next, Mandy and I, we're going to talk through some of the other logistics that have come up. I also just want to open it up to questions from you guys. Here's what I'll say before we open up for questions. I know there's a bunch of you who've never been on a Federation mission. If you haven't been, if you could just like raise your hand. Okay. So I guess what we'll say, and you have plenty of mission junkies, for lack of a better term, and gurus on this mission with you. Some of them are on this call, some of them are not. You've heard a few times, this is going to be a life-changing experience, but what I would also say is it's fast and furious. If the itinerary is still kind of in flux, we have the skeleton of it, but and you can see that online. As soon as we have an update, we'll let you know. We will be spending one day with our partnerships. We'll be going to the south. We'll be spending one day in Tel Aviv. We'll be spending a day in Jerusalem. Mostly we're meeting with people. We'll have an opportunity to volunteer. I'm happy to share what we have at this point. You should all see it's all online. But just know that may change, right? The times that we do things may change. The who we're meeting when may change. We just ask and welcome your flexibility, just bringing your most open mind, knowing that we together, Mandy and I, together with our partners on the ground, tour providers, security guards, etc., are working to create the most impactful, meaningful experience for all of you possible. As a few people have brought up, we will have security with us, 24 hours. Our security guard will be assigned when we get there. We've had some questions about attire. I think if you haven't been to Israel now, it tends to be fairly cold. The last I saw it was in the 40s. And Mandy and I can put together a packing list if it's helpful. We can also talk about it here. Anything else I'm missing, Mandy? And then we can kind of open it up for questions.
Just to tag on a little bit to what Deb and Liz said about this being different than maybe missions that we've been on in the past. This will be emotional, and there may be times where you feel like you need to take a step back. And one of our roles as professionals is to be there to support you. And so we really do welcome open communication if we need to make any accommodations or support you in any way, knowing that this is it. We are going to have really challenging experiences, and it might not need to be said, but we are going to be meeting people who are processing a lot of trauma. And we've learned from feedback from the past missions that some topics really are that we want to be really careful about in sensitive comments. And if there are questions about what would be appropriate and what isn't, we can definitely open that up amongst ourselves and have those conversations and make sure that we are that we're all comfortable with the conversations that we're having. The WhatsApp group is going to be our primary means of communication with all of you. So if you haven't yet joined, we can resend the link. And as Liz said, it's possible that we're going to have some changes, and we're going to be in touch with our colleagues, and we will do our best to communicate all modifications and changes, and really do appreciate all of us being flexible and patient. And I think that's it. We will be sending more information about meeting at the airport and kind of those last minute details. And we can, if anyone has any questions, we can definitely start to answer those here.
I just want to say one more thing about our first day, which probably will be one of the questions. So for those of you that are traveling with us on the Sunday flight, Mandy or I will be at the airport starting at around 10:30 a.m. Our flight is at 1:05. What I will just say is that once we get to Tel Aviv, we'll be met by our tour provider, and we will go on the bus, and then we'll be taken to our first stop. So I just want, from an attire perspective, I just want to make sure people understand we're going to be changing. We'll find a spot in the airport. You'll go into the bathroom. If you want to change out of your airplane clothes into something that you'll have on for the day, please note that. And then towards about 3 or 4 o'clock, we'll be headed back to Jerusalem. We'll have an opportunity to check in, freshen up before we have dinner that evening. But that is the one day where you might have some, outfit changes on the go. And the other 2 days, the second day, you're basically in the same thing for the whole day. We're start to finish. And the third day, for those of you that are leaving with us, it's a similar flip. So you're gonna be in the morning in your clothes. At some point, you're gonna probably want to change back into plain clothes to go home. We can certainly write this out, but I know that for those, I'm looking at Terry, I know she's a very seasoned mission traveler, knows kind of how these things go on the go. But for those of you that have not joined us before, it's a little bit more like camp in that way than some of the other travel experiences you may have had. So just want to give you that heads up, and if there's anything else that you guys need to know about it, we're happy to answer questions. Lindsay, I saw you came off mute.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, I know we had sent around on the WhatsApp that what we were doing Sunday, and aside from crafts, what we're doing is collecting Purim costumes to bring over for a lot of the children that are displaced from Kibbutz Erez. But is there anything else that is needed that we can figure out what to bring? I do have a friend that just got back from a solidarity mission with the Safra. With Safra, I think they got back yesterday, and she had mentioned that they were giving iPads to a lot of people. And I also heard from people with Israel Bonds, breast milk is a big thing that they're having shortages with, and there's ways that we can give to a few organizations to help with that as well. So I just want to kind of figure out and get our ducks in a row, because everything we could do in such a short amount of time, I'd love to do.
Yeah, I think that part of, anything that we learn about, like, we can certainly also purchase in Israel, and that actually helps the economy, like Eric had said before. So I think at this moment, our tour provider and Michal Sorb, our lead partner, has said, the one thing that she said is the Purim costumes for kids in Erez for upcoming Purim. I think Alex put that. I know that she put the like a little flyer together. We want them to be not used, so fine. I think that's a great thing to bring. We haven't learned about anything else at this point, to be totally honest. So I'm not sure, from our perspective. We also know that in the last couple of trips, people packed like a ton of stuff, and it actually created a lot of issues at customs. Okay. And now they are being more strict about what's being brought in and out. So we'll definitely ask the question again, and we'll follow up on the WhatsApp group or on email if we learn of something else. But appreciate your willingness and wanting to do that. And certainly as we get there, and if we find, oh, this group of kids really needs this or whatever, I'm sure that together we will figure out how to get them those things.
With what you just said about obviously wanting to buy it in Israel and support the businesses, if people wanted to donate Visa gift cards to give out, is that, if someone had asked me that, is that an okay thing, you think? That way they can spend it in Israel, obviously supporting businesses.
Let's get more information on that, Lindsay, so we can get back to you.
Okay.
I also want to share that so customs is a really huge issue right now, because so many groups are coming through. So that's why we're being a little cautious. The other thing that our Israeli partner Michal Zor said is candy actually is the easiest thing to bring. The soldiers will love it, the kids will love it, everybody loves a bag of M&Ms. Again, something that you could easily bring into the country, get through customs, no problem, and things that we could get you to a market in Tel Aviv or somewhere to also purchase a ton of that candy. She said for sure that would be a huge hit. You ask really good questions. We'll follow up with you on the Visa cards and other things that we can ultimately do, but we have been warned about bringing additional things in, because we did have a pretty significant challenge at customs with one of our last trips.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Can we do a barbecue with any of the soldiers that are not fighting?
Yes. Well, the plan is for day 3 or the third day, or our last day. In the last iteration that we had, we will be having a barbecue with soldiers for lunch during that third day. So yes, we will. And I think, yep.
Is there an updated itinerary? I mean, I haven't seen anything and what hotel are we staying at?
Oh, sure. So the hotel hasn't changed. We are staying at the Waldorf Astoria in Jerusalem. We expect an updated itinerary actually today. So I can shoot that out to you guys with the caveat that it may change again. So please know that. Any other logistical questions? Happy to answer. Yes. John, I see you have your hand up, but you're on mute. John, you're on mute.
Okay, how do we, you mentioned one day that you're going to be in Tel Aviv. Do you know which of those days?
So the first day when we land, the plan is right now we're going straight to Tel Aviv to Hostage Square to meet with families there. And we'll be spending some time in Tel Aviv. So it will be day one.
Okay.
Stuart, I saw your hand up, but maybe I'm wrong. No, okay. Anyone else? Questions, comments, thoughts?
My wife had asked me if she could join the WhatsApp just to kind of keep track of us. Any issue with that?
Sure. I guess she might just be getting a bunch of updates, logistical updates. We've had some questions or thoughts around. I know in the last group there was more of an open WhatsApp. We may actually create a WhatsApp for folks that want to join, just as a push notification, not where they can actually put comments back in. So it's a good question, Eric. Let us get back to you on that. Yeah. I had one other thing I wanted to I was going to say, I think the one thing I just want to give you guys a heads up on also is that we may have a photographer, videographer with us. For those of you that were on the Centennial Mission, you may have met this person. They kind of followed the groups around mostly to document some of the things that we are seeing, help to tell some of the stories that we want to be able to tell when we get back. So we're in the process of confirming that, but Guy, who joined us the last time, will likely join us for a day and a half. So if you have any considerations about being on film or tape or whatever, please let us know.
And one last thing, can you put together like a listing of who's on the trip and their numbers? Because like
absolutely
most of the people I don't know, so all I have is their phone numbers coming through as WhatsApp. I don't know who's speaking.
Sure. So we just want to make sure that everybody is on the WhatsApp. We're going to go through and we can just have everybody kind of introduce themselves. And if nothing else, we can do it when we get there as well.
Okay.
Happy to share an Excel spreadsheet with everybody's name and email and phone number. Anything else? Susan?
Will there be any time to connect with family there? If like when we're in Tel Aviv, if we have family that's willing to come to Tel Aviv?
I would advise against that at this particular moment, just because we don't know, the pacing of when we're meeting people, when we're getting on the bus. So I wouldn't want you to miss that opportunity. I think they're probably in the evening. Like certainly on the first night, we're going to have dinner at some point. If someone wanted to come meet you later in that evening post dinner, I think that would be okay. Once we get a better look at the schedule and the kind of like run of the timing, you may have a better sense of that. I don't know, Rebecca, if you want to add anything to that. I just wouldn't want a situation where someone comes to meet you and the group is moving on. So, and it also creates some logistical challenges for our tour provider and for us. It's really important that we stay as a group for security purposes as well.
I agree with everything Liz just said. Let us get you the final itinerary. And once you look through it, if you see an opportunity where you'd like to ask for someone to meet you, we can help coordinate. Just if you email Liz or Mandy, just copy me and I can help facilitate. But everything that Liz just said is true. Security is of utmost importance to us. Maintaining the sanctity of the itinerary and the way that it is formulated. So just send your questions. We'll see what we can do. And Margie, I see your question as well. I do understand Boston's going to be there. We don't have their itinerary. There are only so many sites that people are going to. So the likelihood of maybe bumping into them is possible. I don't know where their partnership community is, but I do have a connection there and I'll see if I can get their itinerary to see if there's any overlap.
I mean, what I personally decided to do is I'm just staying an extra day to visit cousins. I'm leaving.
I think a lot of you, we've talked through kind of like how to make this work. I think in such a limited amount of time, that's probably your best bet. I mean,
and if anybody who hasn't been on a mission before, come well rested because you're going to be exhausted.
Or you'll just sleep when you get home. You won't probably even realize it.
You'll sleep when you get home. Yeah.
Well, unless you have little children, but yes. then you will never
But
sleep.
you will sleep when you get home.
Cool. Any other questions?
I just want to thank you all, those of you who organized this. This is done in like a second and a half in real time. I know you've been on this journey before, but thank you for bringing us all together.
Appreciate you saying that, Margie. And yeah, just to kind of close, you know, again, you know, looking forward to having a really intimate experience with each of you together individually. Super grateful for your leadership and for you stepping up and raising your hand. Like, I know we all know these decisions are very tricky and come with a lot of emotional baggage. And, you know, our hope is that we can be supportive to one another and have this experience together that we will undoubtedly will mark our souls. And, you know, if there's any other things, thoughts, questions, whatever, Mandy and I will be in touch via the WhatsApp and you know, we have an email chain now. So please be in touch with each other. Happy to share contact information. And as we learn more, we will certainly let you know.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Speak to you soon.
Bye, Don.
Eric, not this one.
Okay.
Next time.
What is-
Japan is occupying me,
Okay.
so I have to.
You're my
you know,
travel buddy, so you know, like
I know, but hockey and my husband, I like to stay married. So I have to wait, and I'm hoping to go in the spring. But you are in good
You get
hands,
me
with
instead,
Andy and
so.
Lou. They will. You are in very good hands with this group.
all right.
I'm
Sounds good.
glad you committed to going.
Thanks.
All right.
All right, guys.
Great.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Soon.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.
Bye.